Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Under the Radar, a place where we discuss your favorite basketball players and hoopers inside and outside the NBA. Today's story is about Jabari Smith Jr. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why are we talking about Mr. Smith Jr. here? Because he is one of the top prospects in the 2022 NBA draft. Now, the question that we must answer in today's video is, how did Jabari Smith go from being a kid who dreamed to be an NBA player into becoming one of the best prospects in the upcoming 2022 NBA draft? Let's roll the clock a bit. Jabari Moncho Smith Jr. was born on May 13, 2003 in Fayetteville, Georgia to parents Jabari Smith Sr. and Taneskia Cornell Smith. And by the way, Jabari Jr. also has an older brother in AJ Freeman. His father, Jabari Smith Sr., played in the NBA for 5 seasons for the Sacramento Kings, Philadelphia 76ers, and New Jersey Nets. Jabari Smith Jr. started playing varsity basketball as a freshman at Sandy Creek High School in Tyrone, Georgia. Jabari Jr. would sadly only average 2 points and 1.5 rebounds in his freshman season of high school. His father, Jabari Smith Sr., instilled the drive and motivation in him to become a better basketball player. When Jabari was around 5 years old, his dad had him run up and down the hills in their neighborhood in Fayetteville, Georgia, a nod to all the greats who had said that they ran hills at some point in their journeys. He didn't want his son to think that anything would be handed to him, and he would have to work to make it in basketball. Meanwhile, his mother, Taneskia Cornell, would also bring Jabari to the gym before school starts after his 5:30 a.m. workouts at home. Jabari had a routine that was prepared each day, making 4 or 5 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches so he will be fueled throughout a day of long classes and basketball. Sometimes he would not even return home until 8 in the evening. And Jabari's hard work was actually paying off, because in his high school sophomore season, he would actually improve his averages to 12 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 1.9 assists. And this is what his former high school coach, Nickerson, had to say about Jabari Jr.'s daily routine. No matter how exhausting the practice was, says Nickerson, he would always get shots up afterwards. He was a perfectionist, as Coach Harper would say. Coach Harper remembers the times when Jabari would miss free throws in the game, then text him later still dwelling on the bricks. Smith actually eventually learned to apply that grind set mentality elsewhere. After his sophomore year, he struggled with his grades. Coach Nickerson told him if he didn't change his habits, he wouldn't be able to accept a Division I scholarship, and that was all the motivation that Jabari needed to change his old habits and become a better student. Jabari would study hard and started getting A's and B's after that. His coaches continued to push him. One game, playing for the Celtics in the Adidas Summer Championships in Birmingham, Alabama, Jabari kept on missing shots. As a result, he started passing up open looks. As Coach Harper called a timeout, as he would say, if you pass the ball, you won't play again. And Jabari just gave his coach a look. Then he scored 12 or 14 straight points, as Coach Harper would recall, leading his team to the title. As a junior, Jabari averaged 24.5 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 2.8 blocks per game. In his senior season of high school, Smith would average 24 points, 10 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 blocks per game, leading his team to a Class 3A state runner-up finish. And he was named Mr. Georgia Basketball, and he was also named Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year. And Smith was actually selected to all the rosters for the McDonald's All-American Game, Jordan Brand Classic, and the Nike Hoop Summit. Here is a interesting story of how Jabari was actually named a McDonald's All-American. His mom remembers having to get him excited about it. "It's a big deal," as his mom would say. And Jabari said, "Okay, now I'm just gonna keep working." And his mom would say, "Do you understand what this is?" And Jabari would say, "Okay, ma, that's cool. Now, can you pick me up so I can go shoot?" Jabari was a 5-star recruit in all recruiting websites, and he was also the number 5 recruit in the country, and yet, he would still thank coaches for coming to his workouts, as if they were doing him a favor. These 2 experiences would show Jabari's character and humility. Growing up, Jabari dreamed of playing for Coach John Calipari after he met the coach when he was just 5 years old. And however, years later, Kentucky came to see Jabari play only once or twice. And Jabari wanted to play for someone who had already recognized his potential from the very beginning. And Jabari had offers from Ole Miss, Florida State, Georgetown, Georgia, Georgia Tech, LSU, North Carolina, Alabama, and Auburn. And Jabari decided to play college basketball for the University of Auburn. Jabari liked Auburn's system and he preferred being closer to home, and he thought the campus could really provide him with a more traditional college experience, and he sought normalcy over attention. Fun fact, Jabari Smith Jr. would actually be the highest ranked recruit in Auburn school history. And Jabari would actually make his college debut against Morehead State in a 77-54 victory in favor of the Auburn Tigers. And on February 16, 2022, he would actually record a season high of 31 points in a victory against Vanderbilt. And as a freshman, he would average 17 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. And at the conclusion of his freshman season, Smith was actually awarded by many honors, including being named the SEC Freshman of the Year and a member of the All-SEC First Team and Second Team All-American. And on April 5, 2022, Smith declared for the 2022 NBA Draft, foregoing his remaining college eligibility. What makes Jabari Smith Jr. such an incredible prospect is his point forward skills. Jabari is a 6'10 combo/stretch 4 with long arms that allow him to shoot over defenders and be effective in scoring at all 3 levels. And Jabari has the length and size to elevate above most defenders and knock down jumpers whenever he gets to his spots. Jabari is a active and relentless defender with a disruptive wingspan of 7'1", paired with good lateral quickness. And Jabari shows his solid instincts in anticipation, and he gets blocks and steals without gambling offensive and defensive possessions. And he is a versatile defender who can switch on to 1 to 5 as a solid on-ball defender on the perimeter. Jabari can also hold his own in the post. And Jabari is also an intelligent decision maker, and he really seems to have a solid understanding of the game, and he plays with a lot of poise and maturity. And Jabari's length and long strides actually allow him to get the first step against defenders who are similar to his size and to get to the rim in just a flash. And Jabari is an amazing cutter and transition player to make his opponents pay with his electrifying dunks that ignite the crowd. And if Jabari actually had a clear-cut player comparison, it would be Kevin Durant. No, I am not saying that he is as good or better than Durant in any way, but I'm simply stating their similarities in both of their play styles and measurements. Jabari is 6'10", Kevin Durant is also 6'10", Jabari has a 7'1" wingspan, while Durant has a freakish 7'5" wingspan. And all that Jabari needs to improve on is his handles and passing just to round up his game for today's NBA. Other than that, Jabari is a phenomenal player. And as of the recording of this video, Jabari is actually projected to be a top 3 pick, but there is an ongoing competition for the first pick in the NBA draft. Many scouts and sites are placing either Jabari, Paolo, or Chet as their number 1 pick. And let's wait and see what happens on June 23. So Jabari, good luck man. God bless and stay safe to you and your family. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to hit that like button and make it turn blue if you enjoyed today's video. And hit that amazing red subscribe button to join this amazing, growing basketball family. New basketball videos every single Friday, and I do not want y'all to miss it. God bless, stay safe, and enjoy your weekend with your family while watching the NBA Finals, and see you all next week.
Bye-bye.